So how do you start releasing this resistance? Really simple. You become conscious of it. That's right. The amygdala works with programming that runs at the subconscious and unconscious levels. So as we start to become in relationship to the amygdala and all our fear thoughts and all our safety issues, and we bring them to consciousness, we actually start to move the programming on it. How cool is that? And the good thing is, you've already done it by watching this training. You have already started to release resistance just by being here. Now you may be thinking, your cynical self thinking, this can't be enough. And you would be absolutely correct. This is just starting to scratch the surface on what we're going to cover in our time together. There are 5 rules to receiving in total, and I'm going to give you those over the course of the next 2 trainings. Now, the one we're going to focus on the most is one I've referenced to you in Wendy's story, and that is the first rule of receiving, which is to receive yourself fully. What does this mean? This means that you allow in all the parts of you into your existence so that you can connect deeply to your inner wisdom. Now, we're going to talk more about that in the next training, but here's what I want to promise you. When we do this work in the receiving school with all 5 rules of receiving, this rule, the rule of receiving yourself fully, is the one that 80% of our participants say is the game changer for them. This is what shifts everything, and here's why. Your amygdala is acting as if your survival is dependent on lots of other people, because that's what it believes. As you start to receive yourself, what you're going to find is that much of what you need is already within your own energy system. The wisdom, the energy, the how to create abundance, all of that is within yourself. And as your amygdala starts to understand how powerful you truly are, it starts to fear rejection less. Now, can you imagine walking through the world not always being worried that someone's going to abandon you or reject you for who you are? That's what's going to happen when you learn what I have to share with you in the next training. But for now, I promised you a 5-minute exercise that will really help you ground into this consciousness and use it to invite in more magic. So let's go through that. Okay, ready to get some magic making? Awesome. What I'd like you to do right now is just sit comfortably. Hopefully you already are, but if you aren't, go ahead and sit comfortably. And we're going to do a couple of rounds of breath. And then I'm going to guide you through some questions. And these answers to these questions are going to give you access to some really powerful magic making juice. All right, ready? Breathe in and out. In and out, in and out. Notice how you already are starting to feel a little bit better, balancing the in-breath with the out-breath, balancing that giving and receiving energy. Awesome. All right, so the first question is, I want you to just close your eyes and think about your task list for the day or maybe the week. Just mentally scan through that task list and think, is there anything on there that feels overwhelming, feels hard, that you wished you didn't have to do? All right, that energy you're feeling right now, that's resistance. What I'd like you to do right now with me is say, universe, divine, whatever word you use, please free me from this resistance. Please take this resistance from me. All right. Now I'm going to walk through a second question, which is, I want you to close your eyes again, and I want you to think about a big, big dream you have for yourself, the biggest dream you have right now. Maybe you'd like a beautiful new home, or to write a best-selling book, or the career of your dreams, or the romantic partner of your dreams. Whatever it is, I want you to just think about your biggest dream right now. Do you sense that it's far away, or maybe that you're not 100% sure how it's going to happen? Maybe there's even a little doubt inside of you. Any of those feelings, those are resistance feelings. So now again, what we're going to do is we're going to say, divine God source, please lift this resistance from me. Lift this resistance from me. Excellent. So now you know just by asking, it's already starting to be delivered to you. What's fun about all of this is these particular asks, lift this resistance from me, lift this fear from me. Our amygdala doesn't get too attached to it, and so it usually doesn't get too much in the way. And so what will start to happen is the divine, the universe, is going to start to deliver what you just asked for. As it does, and your resistance starts to dissolve, magic is going to flow in. What I'm going to encourage you to do is to track the magic that flows in. This might be things like signs. Maybe you'll get an inspiration on how to deal with something. Maybe you'll suddenly realize, oh, I don't actually have to do that at all. You might get a surprise gift or an offer of help from a friend. These are all forms of magic that flow in. What I want you to do is to start to track them on your worksheet. And here is why. It's not just because I want you to have a record of all the cool stuff happening. It's because it's been scientifically proven that when we track things, our brain starts to believe it, which means that the more you track it, the more the amygdala will believe in it and think that it's safe. Crazy, right? Now, it's not just that the amygdala will believe it because I'm telling you it will believe it. There was a mathematician that lived almost 200 years ago named Karl Pearson, and he has studied this. He studied and proven that what we track expands. Isn't that cool? In fact, it's called Pearson's Law. And the way Pearson's Law goes is that what we track expands, and what we track and report on expands exponentially. So I'd love for you to share the magic that's happening. And in fact, share any questions that you have and anything you'd love my feedback on, because when you're doing things in community, it automatically feels safer. And the safer you feel, the less resistance you have, the more magic that flows in. And get excited, because in training number 2, I'm going to show you how watching Netflix, taking time off, hanging out with friends, or maybe just spending time by yourself, taking a nap, is the key to bringing in all the abundance that you desire, as well as bringing your big dreams to life. If you're excited to learn that, then I will see you on training number 2.